So we are almost in time. Welcome everyone, great to see you to our first aiLights session in 2026. Also a warm welcome to our new members of a meetup group we just founded. Mike is the co-organizer and is also here. I'm Sabine, I'm your host today. And as some of you might know, we have a special Apertus series within the aiLights program. And we would like to support the use of the model with that. And I'm very happy to welcome Swan Blanc as our guest today from Infomaniak. Hi, Swan.
Hello.
Hi. And Swan works in AI research and development and Infomaniak. He holds a master's degree in computer science. And as you could see on the event image, maybe you have seen it, Swan is also a semi-professional runner. Competing in half marathons and marathons. And I'm curious to hear your personal best maybe a bit later. And today's topic today is Beyond the Usual Suspects, Building with Apertus, Infomaniak's AI API. And I get quite in close contact with Infomaniak's offering during the last weeks, writing my thesis about user willingness in donating chatbot data for open source model training. And I've built my whole back end. Swan, you don't know that. So I've built my whole back end during Christmas time, including database and Apertus API with Infomaniak. And I must admit, I'm a huge fan. And I'm also curious to learn more and maybe to improve the setup. So the session will be live streamed on YouTube, as always. You can leave questions in the chat, and we try to answer them within or after the session in the Q&A. And if you like, you can stay for our networking part for 10 minutes after the session to connect to each other. So now let's start. And Swan, I'm very glad that you can make it. Here is your stage.
Yes, thank you very much. So welcome everyone. So Swan Blanc I'm work at Infomaniak in research and development. So I like AI and running, and I am in the special Infomaniak room, the Butcher meeting room. So there is plenty. We are plenty different rooms with different styles. Japan, hard rock. So we like to have a good open space for working. But anywhere, thank you very much. Thank you everyone to be here. Sorry if my English sometimes is quite weird. We'll try to speak the best. So let's start. So today we will talk about the Apertus AI. So it will be a good fun. So we will see what Apertus and why it's good, how to use it with our API, and to show the Infomaniak API too, the AI API. So the main idea to do a short introduction about Infomaniak, it's about be an alternative to GAFAM, so Google, Amazon, Facebook, etc. by saving the privacy. So when you use this the software, I don't know, ChatGPT or Gemini, when you chat with him, he collects the conversation to have a human labelization or automatic labelization, and he uses your conversation to retrain the model. So when you want just to correct an email or I don't know how to cook something, is not a big problem. But if you have some medical data or some really secret or important information, is quite bad to send this data to OpenAI or Google. So this is the main target of Infomaniak. So we have several different products, like for Drive, an email, web hosting, and we got in Switzerland one of the most ecological data center in the world, that we reused the warm to the heat of the machine to warm the houses in Geneva. and our data center don't use air conditioning, use natural cooling to reduce the energy consumption of the DC. But let's move on to Apertus. So what is Apertus for people who don't really know? It's another LLM, large language modeling, developed by Swiss AI at EPFL and Swiss University, and trained on the supercomputer in Switzerland with many of GPUs. But the main goal of Apertus is not to beat Gemini, to beat OpenAI. Is not the target. Is the main target is to promote open sources like many like Mistral AI or other company. But the big difference between a Mistral AI OpenWay model, it's Apertus open source the dataset to train the model, because this is the most important part. We know how ChatGPT work, we know how Gemini work technically, but the main difference between open source and closed source model is the dataset. This is why the gold is the training the data. So the problem with closed models is like you can't verify how he was trained. We can't reproduce the training. There is some legal problems, and it's like a black box. So how Apertus was trained to be to do a quick show. I just moved the window here. Yes. So when you train an LLM, it's not really easy because we need some lot of training steps. It's like you are a child, you go to different grade level at school. It's the same idea here. So I described all the main steps about how Apertus was trained. It's like the pre-training. In the pre-training, there is some sub steps, like in schools, primary, secondary school, university. So we use a simple dataset to more complex dataset in maths. Then we do a context extension so that the model can get much longer instruction. SFT is like supervised fine-tuning, is like you say an instruction to the model, let's say correct this email, and you want to have a specific output. So you check that the model produces the output that you want. So it's the supervised fine-tuning it's one of the most important steps. It's like improve the model to follow your instruction about what you want. And there is a new contribution of the last one, the alignment was here. It's a new technique that's be promoted by EPFL. It's quantile reward policy optimization. So I don't go through the maths about this, but the main idea is to scoring the quality of the output of the LLM. So we use another large language modeling to score the output, to make a mark about the quality of his output. And and the target of Apertus when it's training is to maximize the scoring. So, but okay, we talk about Apertus. Lot of people say it's not a good model. It's compared to a ChatGPT or other open sources model like Qwen3 of Alibaba Cloud. But here, what I want really to show is what the real impact of Apertus is. Not about the OpenWay model. It's a really good contribution, but the most important part, as I say at the start, is the dataset. And like me, when I work with some new features architecture or want to try new architecture, my big problem is to find high quality dataset to test new type of architecture of AI. So the big problem, if I have just an open weight model like Qwen3 or DeepSeek, it's good, but I can't really, he won't help me to generate or to create high quality data sets. So this is why I want to do a small talk about the future of AI and why it's important, why Apertus make a good steps about to help me to improve the science of the future of AI. It's like now there is some new type of architecture that arrive, like Mamba or SSM, that's already used, because the big problem with LLM or the attention architecture, so he need a lot of memory, so a lot of GPUs. He quite hard to train, and the big problem now, models are become much bigger, so there is no sense to. It's not really the target now is to reduce the size of the model, and the model needs to be more smarter than just say, oh, let's make a bigger one. So we need more GPUs, we need more computer resources, and the big problem is only several companies can buy this type of GPU, like for tech people, the H200 of the last. NVIDIA GPU type, it's GB200 or 300, I can't remember, but it's really expensive cards. In Infomaniak, we got some H200. We got 42 GPUs of H200, and it's really, really expensive. So this is why now research try to improve the quality of the model to be more smarter, like a last one that I really like is the recursive reasoning with tiny network. It's a research made by Samsung. He used a really, really small model, like 80 times smaller than a normal DeepSeek or Qwen3, and he can get the same output quality of a big Gemini Pro or ChatGPT model. It's theoretical now, but this is the main part that we try to go. There is several of the titans too. It's a good research made by Google. So the idea is to reproduce our memory, so a short memory and long-term memory, to a model to be able to train continuously when during the conversation, because now the model is freezing. When we talk to the model, is not update his knowledge. It's just freeze like this, and that's it. So now the idea is the model to improve dynamically during the conversation. So to summarize all the new area, it's like the problem now is the memory is quadratic. So when we want to compute a large text, we need a lot of memory. So power 2 of memory. So it's really expensive in memory and in computation. So there is some new architecture to help to reduce this. The big problem is the memory, like the short-term memory to memorize what the user says in the past and what is the important information and the not important information. So this is what Titan's research try to do. And the last part is reasoning, because there is not some true reasoning models. We do some tricks about say to the model, try to make some reasoning, but it's not a real reasoning system. And this is why I say, like, the hierarchical reasoning model or recursive reasoning with tiny networks, try to test to improve. Whoop. And to finish my small section about the future of AI and LLM is the distillation secret weapon. For me, it's it's a really good things in the medium term to improve our model and reduce the size. The idea is to use a teacher, so you will use, like, I don't know, a big GPT-5 model to teach a small model how to reproduce his output. And the old way is like I passed an email to correct in the big teacher. He produced the output. I passed the email to the small model. He produced the output, and I compare the output of the teacher and the student. But now, some research try to improve this technique, not just to copy paste the output of the teacher for the student, but to learn the teacher reasoning process to improve his quality, and with much less model, like a 7 billion of parameter, can solve problems that a big model with 100 billion of parameters can solve. So there is a lot of open source distillate model, like Apertus, the 8B version was distilled by the teacher, was the big one, the 70 billion. There is a Quen-free distill too. So plenty of models now, open weight model, use this technique. Okay, so we talk about the future and why Apertus make a good step. So to summarize, is the dataset. So with a good dataset quality, we can try new architecture, new techniques, and improve the evolution of AI. Now we'll talk about a small demonstration about with the API of Infomaniak, how we can combine multiple models to do some retrieval augmented generated. So we will try to do a search engine and use Apertus to answer to our question. So first of all, for people who don't really know, what is RAG? It's retrieval augmented generation. So when you answer a question, the big problem, if you only send your question directly to the LLM, he don't have information about your internal knowledge base. So to avoid retrain the model with new updated dataset, we will use some, we will add some contextual documents to him. So you have the user question. The retriever is to find the retrieval document. It's like a search engine. Augmented, so you add to the LLM, to the prompt, the document that you find, and then you say to the LLM to find the answer of the user based on the documents that you found. So the right pipeline, so it's quite easy. I will don't go through the code source, but my code source is open source, so you will can see how to use it and to edit. So the pipeline is like, if a query, we search the relevant document with the embedding model. I will explain you this later. We will use a re-rank documents to improve the research results and generate the answer with Apertus. So this is the 4 main steps. So to go quickly to embedding, embedding is what the idea? The idea is to produce a big list of numbers that and compare the vectors together to see which sentence is close to the other one. So an embedding model, we will produce a big array of floats, and we will use some, we will try to compare all these array of vectors to see which one is close to each other. So for this, we'll use cosinus similarity. It's a distance measurement of vectors. So as you see in my example, I have 3 vectors here, and we will see, like, I love pizza and pizza is great. It's close together. So this is the main target of embedding model, is to do this. The pro of this is go really fast. So you can make a lot of embeddings in seconds. The con is, for a big context or complex question, sometimes the documents are not really relevant. So to do this, to the problem of this relevant output, because sometimes embedding can make mistakes, we will use a re-ranker model that will go on top of this to improve the output quality. The main difference is the re-ranker is slower, so this is why we can't use this alone, because it will make your research really long. The accuracy is much better. So the technique is just to give it to him the top 10 documents that you found with your embedding to make a final ranking of your documents. So the full pipeline and the last pipeline that I will show you in my demo is like you do your embedding, you take the 5, I will take the 5 best candidates, rescore the documents with my re-ranker. So I will take the top 3 documents and generate the answer with Apertus. So as you see, with combination of several models and an LLM, I can produce a good research engine without have a big LLM model that's really complex and make times to answer to your question. So let's make a demonstration. So all the demo use the open the Infomaniak API, AI services API. So you have some, when you subscribe to our API, you have some free credits to test, and the API is not really expensive. So let's see the demonstration. So I make, I can't see the bar. Okay. So here I made Swiss FAQ tourism assistance. So I generate some several Swiss FAQ, but you can use your internal company knowledge base. It's made for this. So I already indexed my document. So when I say index, is passed my documents, my FAQ to the embedding model to get the vector, as I say. So the UI, so I will ask a question here. He will show the different steps here, and we will see what he do. So we'll try this one. How can I visit Switzerland on a budget? So I will generate the answer. So here, so Apertus, like here, currently write the answer here. So first steps, I've got my embedding scores. So here is what document my embedding network found. So my question was, how can I visit for budget? So this one is quite relevant. What is the best time? So as you see, the document found by the embedding is not really bad. Then I use my re-ranker to move the score of my documents. So as you say, as you see, this one did not move. It's keep at the first position. He improved the administrative part to go to Switzerland, and he reduced the what best time to visit Switzerland. And then these 3 documents I send to Apertus, and he generates for me the answer. So we can try with, do I need the admin document here to see? So he found, do I need a visa to visit Switzerland? Here, my re-ranker keep at the same position. He improved Glacier Express, so it's the tourist activity. He reduced the spoken language in Switzerland. But as you see, with all these 3 models, I don't use the best ChatGPT model, and it works really well. So here, the Apertus that I use of AI Infomaniak AI API is the big one, the 70B version. But with the 8B version, it works really well too, and it's much faster. So as you see, Apertus work quite well. So this code will be open source, so you can see how to use it. And I add another demonstration part to see what the embedding do and what the rerun can do to do some comparison about the output of the embedding and output of the re-ranking. So
Swan,
yes.
I'm just jumping in because we have a question here from Mike.
Yeah, but I finished my presentation, so we
can. Okay.
Okay, it's finished. Yeah.
So, Mike, if you like to ask a question, go ahead.
Hi, Swan. Great demo. Thank you so much. So when you were talking about the 7 billion model, which is distilled, right, and you were explaining about the reasoning steps, is there more with Apertus 7 billion versus a bigger model, or is it just those internalized reasoning steps which are then taken into the equation to make this efficient step?
So as you say, like the 7. Sorry, I did not understand your question. Sorry.
You were explaining about the smaller model.
Yes.
Which is basically distilled and internalize it some reasoning steps. Could you explain further as to why the smaller model could be more efficient versus a bigger model?
Yes. Like a smaller model can be more efficient, but like it's smaller, so he go much faster to produce the output and generate the answer. So he require less computer resources. So it's more like distillation is not much for improving the general performance, but it's more to reduce the size of the computer resources and let everyone to run the model in locally or with a small computer engine. That's answer to your question, or?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. If there is some other questions, so do I? So if you want to use the Infomaniak API, it's already all the demo use the Infomaniak API. The re-ranker is a new things that we publish. The embedding, I use the Qwen3 embedding model. So all these models are open source. So if you have some questions.
Yes, we have Teresa. So, great. Yeah, hi. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, hello. And thanks a lot for that very interesting presentation.
You're welcome.
Yeah, building on that, to what extent is it also possible to implement something like agentic AI and, AI agent that use external tools, steer them autonomously? Has it also been implemented by you and your team?
So your question is if we use external tool?
Yeah, exactly. Like I understood that you now implemented something like a RAG retrieval.
Yeah.
To also access external data, let's say PDFs or like external files. And to my understanding, like another like big development at the moment is the integration of AI agents in the sense that are like they act more autonomously and use external tools like Google search to come up like in an even more autonomous way with answers. Is it also possible with Apertus?
Yes, like okay. Now the good it's MCP. I think some people see like the new protocol model, the new model context protocol. So it's the goal of NCP is more to define how the model will communicate between the tools. So as you say, the search engine, Google, and the data format, how you describe your tool. So with Apertus, you can use tool calling. We say it's the name. So it's about you give to Apertus some tools, and you say like I don't know, search engine, how to get a weather of Geneva, etc. And he can say and he can answer which tool to call before to answer to his question. So, for example, if I say I give to him a weather API to get the weather in the city, and the user say, "Oh, can I have the weather of Paris at 10 a.m.?" So Apertus will don't answer directly to the question. He will give it to me the tool to say, "Oh, call your weather API with city Paris, temperature hour 10 a.m." And then the developer will call in your source code. You will code the API, get the answer of the API, give it back to Apertus, and then Apertus will produce the final answer. Is that answer to your question?
Yes, thank you so much. That was exactly what I was asking. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, agent AI is just a tool call. You give a lot of tools to the LLM and try to use at the best moment.
And Swan, as a long years wipe coder, I have a question regarding a code snippet for that MCP. As far as I know, you have built this, right? This MCP tooling for Apertus, or did I get it wrong?
Yes, because in Infomaniak, to do the serving of the model, we use VLLM. It's a big open source project. It's the bigger one. The target is to make inference of the model, because we got some lot of users used our models. So in VLLM, Apertus was not the tool calling part of Apertus was not coding. So this is why with I contribute to VLLM to be able of Apertus to call MCP tools and tools that I explained late 5 minutes ago. Sorry. English.
Do you have customers who've been using this? Do you know some use cases who has implemented it and so on with Infomaniak?
Actually, we don't have with Infomaniak. We don't do some for privacy. We don't save what people do with our model, so we don't know really what he do. But Apertus is not the one was the most used. People we use we got plenty different model with the Infomaniak API, Quen3, Granite of IBM, but some customer use it for more for RAG, as I show in my demo. But yes, he's well, it work well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So do we have some more questions? So I remember I needed a bit of a time to build it with the access and find the right names for the models and so on. But okay, I'm not a coding. So there is Rado. Do you plan to offer hosting of fine-tuned models? Rado is asking.
Yeah. Right now, no. We want to do it for special customer, but the problem, we need to find a good way to do it for a lot of people, because for a single customer it's not really hard, but when you want to have a plenty people want to do this. It's not easy. So first we will try to promote a generic RAG system, and then maybe fine-tuning model. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have a question, Swan. With Apertus, sometimes, you know, when you're building with it, how do you architect around the gaps in the capabilities that, for example, OpenAI API has when it comes, you know, on parsing, OCR, PDF handling, all these type of things where you have to architect around other things, because Apertus is right now in its current state not capable to just parse and have this OCR practice. So what modular layers sit around Apertus when you try to compensate for those features which are missing, which would be more efficient and quicker to use another model?
It's a good question, because now a lot of people use the LLM like a golden armor. So you just put everything on it and you say, oh, I will do it, my job. So with Apertus, when I build a demo app, and as I show with the re-ranker, it's to be smarter, to find some small models, some small techniques, or just developing techniques to filtering, to clean up the information, to only give the key information to Apertus, and let him to finish the job. So there is no some golden rule, but it depends of your task to do with him. It's to try to be smart, to use some other tools, embedding, re-ranking, cleaning. Like for example, if you want to do some you have some HTML. I don't know, if you want to do some mail translation, and you got the HTML of your mail, you will try to extract the key text of the email to send to Apertus for translation, and not just give the full HTML and say translate this to English. So it won't be efficient.
Lots of people use PDF and parsing and OCR when it comes to document or unstructured data, right? How does Apertus then handle those type of things when you try to architect around the solution?
So your question, if Apertus can do some OCR?
Well, the capability of Apertus is right now not as efficient as other models. So how do you architect around it?
Yes. So the idea I will use some other open source model for multi, like there is a good one named NanoNet. We will, on the Infomaniak API, we will deploy this model. I can't say when, but this is the number 1, but we want the number 2 here. So this is NanoNet. This is a open source OCR. So you can use this one to send your PDF and extract the text to Markdown, and then with this Markdown, send to Apertus, say do something with him. But if you want, for example, if you don't have documents, you have some holidays images, so you can use smaller multimodal LLM, like there is Ministral of Mistral AI, Ministral 3, the 3B. I think this one got multimodal capability. Yes, it got multimodal. Yeah. So you can send your image to Mistral. You will do some key some image description, and send the description to Apertus to make some other processing of your task.
And would you consider those type of things? Let's say there's companies that just want to use models which respect the AI sovereignty, as this is also the topic of today. Would you say that using this type of open source Hugging Face models with Apertus would then still, in your experience, maintain this type of AI sovereignty in Switzerland? Or the more you outsource this type of open source models, the more you think it's going to be something that is not really a solution that provides Switzerland itself. So would you say Apertus needs to do all of this, or would you say Apertus has to stay with its capabilities and then architect around it? So it was a long question, but I hope you understood.
Yeah, I think if you want to have let's try to find a good answer. The big problem is not about for me, the performance of Apertus or the capability. It's more about, like, for example, I can use Ministral in our API, and the privacy will be respected. Or you can deploy your own Ministral in your own server, and you will your internal knowledge won't go to the we will save. So I think to come back to your question, Apertus don't need to be the best model, but keep all the Swiss AI pushing about open source data, the training data, and improve the open source community. I don't know if my answer is good for you.
I think you replied, yeah, in the way that you think that Apertus should maintain its key capabilities. So it was very
Yes.
clear. Thank
Like,
you.
for me, the main target of right now is not to make a bigger model. For me, the main thing, as I say, is to make smaller model, smarter model. And now, like NVIDIA produce, like research of NVIDIA, for example, try to find more multi-model, multi-expert model than just a one single big model. So for me, the best feature of Apertus will be to promote multiple small model, expert model, or techniques to train these models, distillation, or to give to research a toolbox for everyone to build his own LLM and make a multi LLM service. So this is why I say the dataset is the most good part, because, for example, if I want to build my own model, I can use this dataset to train my own one, or to test new architecture for the future.
Nice one.
So now we have 1 minute left. I'm just answering here the question of Roman. Maybe Roman, I'll copy here the website from Infomaniak that you can check for prices, integrations, and so on. And now again, back to you, Swan, to your key takeaways. Sorry, I didn't saw it.
For me, I finished with some other questions.
Okay, great. Okay.
Like, yes, if you want, as I say, Infomaniak really want to promote all this type of research and project. So we try to do our best to to provide a high quality API. Our last toy to finish, it's Euria. So it's our own. We don't train our own LLM because we don't have the power enough. We don't have the computer resources. We use a Qwen-free multimodal, the Qwen-free VL model. But to come back to your question, Michael, now my research at Infomaniak is to remove this big model Qwen-free that use too much GPU for us, and split to a small things to be smarter. So this is why we plan to use the Apertus dataset to do some distillation of big open source models.